In this video, I'm going to share with you 5 lessons that I've learned from the world's most successful entrepreneurs. And one key point I wanted to take away from this video is that this world's most successful entrepreneurs, they've not just become the world's most successful entrepreneurs one day because of, one big moment, but it was because of the habits, lifestyle, and even the way that they think and the way they operated. So I've been spending a lot of time reading, watching documentaries, listening, and just consuming a lot of content from founders and some of the world's most successful entrepreneurs in different categories. I'm talking about the founder of Walmart, we're talking about Jeff Bezos, we're talking about Jay-Z, we're talking about people as far as James Hill and even John D. Rockefeller. Now, one thing I want you to know, as I said in the beginning of this video, is that it's not just about the one key big business deal that they got that changed everything for them, but it was about the mindsets, the habits, and the way that they got to live their lives that actually helped them to become the people that we always make as reference when we're talking about success and being a successful entrepreneur. Hi, my name is Gigi, and in this channel, I'm dedicated to sharing meaningful lessons for people like me who are looking to live a more holistic life, people who are interested in living a more authentic and fulfilling life, a life where every area of our lives is nurtured and is prospering. So if you're interested in content like that, you might want to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and watch this video to the end. Before I go ahead to list these 5 lessons, I just want to tell you why I'm interested in these people and why I've been studying them. So not just because of I have been interested in entrepreneurship or what it actually takes to be successful, but just because of curiosity. I've always seen the power of curiosity, the power of learning, the power of wanting to know more. You cannot find any successful person who is not curious, who doesn't want to know more, who doesn't want to become better, or just wanting to acquire more knowledge. Everyone who is curious is destined for greatness because they are not limited by what they know. They already know that there is more knowledge, more to acquire, and there is abundance on earth. And this is something I've also learned from these most successful entrepreneurs. They are always, always, always learning. Not even one person was just comfortable with what they know now or what they were told was the actual truth. Lesson 1, be the craft. You can never underestimate the power of knowing the business or knowing whatever it is you're doing inside out. When you think about the world's most successful entrepreneurs, we're talking Jay-Z, we're talking James Hill, we're even talking about Jeff Bezos and even Elon Musk. We see that one common thread about them is that they were in the craft, they were learning consistently. So I'm going to use Jay-Z, who is a very good example in this category. So Jay-Z did not just wake up one day and become a business tycoon in music industry or just knowing what it means to own a record label or be a CEO or a founder or whatever of a record label. They actually started with street rap, the street battles the rappers usually do in black hoods. And then you see him moving from just being a street rapper and poet and MC into actually being a rapper, writing his own rap lyrics, trying to sell out albums, understanding what it means to be a rapper, to be a producer, to know what to write, to know what it is to be an artist. What does it take for an artist to actually sell music or sell an album? And this is one of the reasons why he seems to be doing so well. He can bring an artist and groom the artist and make the artist even become better in the industry. Another typical example is James Hill. James Hill is actually known as one of the greatest icons when it comes to railroads and transportation, especially when it comes to railroad transportation. One competitive advantage that he had over his competitors was that he grew up in a transportation system. He stayed learning. You would see him conversating, learning from even the basic railroad workers. And that was how he was able to understand the business of that railroad transportation. And this is one of, although there are other things, but this is one way he surpassed a lot of people. So when I see people talk about, I just have this capital and I want to go open a restaurant and I want to go start a business. And I just think, have you tried to even learn the basics of the business? Let's use an example of fashion designing. You see a fashion designer who wants to start a fashion design company. I see someone who has little cash and wants to open a fashion design company. Who do you think is going to be more successful between the fashion designer who is actually experienced and the person who has the capital and is interested in fashion designing? Obviously, the fashion designer, because they understand fabrics, they understand everything down to what fashion designing entails. So before you invest in that business, try to understand the in and outs of the business. It's obviously going to give you a competitive advantage over people who just have the capital and the interest. Even if they're hiring experts to take over the business for them, you will obviously be the master because you have been a student and now you have upgraded to a master. Lesson number 2, curiosity is their default. It's as simple as that. Just as I said in the beginning of this video, they always wanted to know how they can get better. They obviously wanted to improve. None of them were ever comfortable with now. Now, you see, one of the reasons why a lot of businesses fall out, especially with the rise of technology and AI and the whole changes in the world, is that many of those businesses, they probably did not ask how to get better on time. Their competitors thought about the future, or they were able to understand the market enough to think about the future, or think of how can I actually move from point A to point B before their competitors actually started thinking about how they can improve. So curiosity, not just in terms of wanting to know more about life or have more knowledge about the market, but the ability to think fast, is one characteristic we have seen in this world's most successful entrepreneurs. Number three, financial discipline is a must. When people think or talk about some of this world's most successful people or most successful entrepreneurs, they usually think about them from the perspective of flashy cars and being able to travel the world and spending a lot of money on luxurious items. Well, that is true. But what if I told you that many of these people or these world successful entrepreneurs that you see have all these properties, it's either they are making more money from those properties. Let me tell you, no smart rich person, and there's a reason why I put the word smart, no smart rich person will just buy a property to prove a point to another person. They are probably buying that property because they know that this property can actually increase in value over time or is needed for a particular business transaction. So one thing I've also come to learn from this world's most successful entrepreneurs is that they were really good with money. So what's the lesson here? You need to have financial discipline. You must know how to save. You must know how to invest. You must know how to not spend just for, triggers or trying to prove a point. You must know how to keep money, how to make money, and how to grow money. Lesson number four, hard work is non-negotiable. So this is similar to point two where we talked about the crafts. The difference here is that you really need to put in the work. When people talk about making money or just living a life of luxury or riches, they usually feel like, oh, you must take a little cut by the side, which probably is true, but you need to actually put in the work. You might need the sleepless nights. You might need the strategy. You might need the failure. You actually do need the failure. When rich people talk about no days off, it's not that they are not resting per se, but no days off is equals to every day is another day for you to try again, even when you have failed or when that strategy is not working. So the key point here from these more successful entrepreneurs is that they are always working, they're always active. Even when they outsource to other people, they do not allow people to do the heavy lifting. Most of the time, they are there thinking of how can we actually improve. They show up to the office, they join the employees to work. So my lesson for you now is that consistency cannot be separated from success. You must be consistent. You must show up. You must put in the work. You must be the craft. You must show up. You must not take any day off. That is no days off, even when things are hard. You can take a break and come back, but the most important thing is that you keep going. Lesson five and the last lesson for this video is that they learn from other entrepreneurs. Learning from other entrepreneurs is something that you would see. Think of the biggest entrepreneurs the world always celebrates. You must see it in them. Jeff Bezos was someone who took a lot of lessons from the founder of Walmart. You see people like Jay-Z taking lessons from people like Rockefeller. You see other entrepreneurs talking about how they've taken a lot of lessons from the founders of bigger companies before them. That is one key trait in these entrepreneurs. It's something with being curious, but then at the same time, they want to see how people who are better or who were better than them, who did this before them, actually did it and they were successful. So that's something that me and you were doing here now. We want to get better at business. We want to improve our financial life and even other areas of our lives as entrepreneurs and as human beings. So now we're trying to learn from other entrepreneurs, which is basically what I'm doing. I want to see how other people who are doing better than me are doing it or how they did it. Even sometimes I try to watch the lives of other creators, not because I want to copy them, but I want to get inspired. How did they get here? How did they overcome this struggle? How did they keep showing up? So this is my lesson for you is that if you want to get better at something, you might want to look at people who have done that thing similar to you, especially people who have succeeded and even those who have even failed. But the most important thing is that you keep learning from other people. So with this, we come to the end of this video. Let me know which of these key points or any of the timestamps or any of these lessons that actually made more sense to you, and you can feel like, yes, you were talking to me, or this is something I actually want to practice, or something that I want to keep putting in my business as an entrepreneur. And let me know if you want more videos like this. My name is Gigi, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you're interested in conversations like this, I actually have a bi-weekly newsletter. The link is in the description of this video, where I share lessons like this that I'm learning from other entrepreneurs. I also share the podcasts, the books I'm reading, articles I'm reading that teaches me things like this. And the fun fact is I already summarize it for you, so you don't have to spend a lot of time going through them if you don't have the time. So you can find all this kind of information through the links in my description. I have some published articles already in case you want to look at them. There's like 5 minutes free. I'll see you in the next video, and thank you for watching.